Hey, welcome everybody to our All Heat team call. First of all, I'm really excited because we have 100 people on tonight and we only have room for 100. So those of you that are seeing it after tonight, it's because you couldn't get on tonight. And we're sorry that we didn't have enough room for you to join the party tonight. And one of the things that we're going to do is I am going to be turning this meeting over to Melissa Falco, one of our HEAT National Marketing Directors. But before we get there, we all thought it would be fun for all of you kind of to see what the lineage looks like. Who's your upline NMD? Like you hear, is that my NMD? Is that my NMD? I thought you were my NMD, but this is my NMD. So we're going to like dispel all of the who's who and who's on first right now. So I'm going to do a little share screen right here. And here we go. I'm going to pull this up right here. Get this nice. And so all of you can see this, I'm assuming, yes?
Yes.
And yes, perfect. Somebody stay unmuted. So just really quickly, what the HEAT family lineage looks like is Chris and I are at the top. That doesn't mean that we are the top. It just means we're at the top. Let's make that perfectly clear. And then we have 3 frontline NMDs on our team, Jerry and Debbie Rudloff, Alita Spire, and Phil and Lisa Blaisdell. And under Jerry and Debbie, and you can see over here if you're following along, we have Stephanie Cleveland and Lenora Bayless. And on this side of us for Nikki and Chris, we have Phil Blaisdell and Melissa Falco, who's going to take over tonight. And this was her idea, and we loved it as a HEAT NMD family. We thought this was such a cool idea. We're so excited for you to hear what we're going to hear tonight. We don't even know what we're going to hear tonight, but we're excited. And then under Lenora has 2 frontline national marketing directors, Sandy Tabola and Tyra Wiebe. Under Sandy is Michelle Grensing. And under Tyra is Carolyn Swanger, and our very newest national marketing director, less than a year old as a national marketing director, is Alexis Busselman. I will be posting all of this on the HEAT Facebook group so you can really see it. And so I'm going to stop the share right now. And there we all are. And Melissa, I'm going to turn this over to you because this was your idea and it was such a great one.
Oh, Nikki, thank you so much. Well, welcome everybody. I'm so excited that you were able to join us tonight. I know we're all a little bit, probably got a little cabin fever at this point. So it's nice to connect, isn't it? And I'm just excited tonight because the purpose of the call is really to build vision for especially our newest people in the room. We've gotten, I think there was almost 300 people that joined the HEAT team in a matter of a day or two. And that's an extraordinary addition to our team. And what we wanted to do is give you a glimpse into not just the things that you know you're saying yes to, but the unexpected blessings that come along with this business, because there are so many. And we thought it would be really neat for you guys to get an idea of who we are through those experiences and maybe just connect to 1 or 2 of the ideas or 1 of the 2 experiences that maybe you're hoping for in your own life, right? So what we're going to do is start this off with Chris Cotton, who is sitting right next to Nikki, and he is going to talk about some of the things that have come in through their experience. They are both national marketing directors in their own right and have an extraordinary experience and lineage of over 30 years with the business. And I just learn from them so much every time we communicate. And I'm so excited, Chris, to turn it to you.
All right. Yeah. Thank you, Melissa. So all you people that if you don't know us, we are enjoying the fact we've been inspiring healthy living around the world for, just as Melissa said, about 30 years. And when people ask me, what do? I tell them that I touch and share joy every day at the cellular level by helping people change their health at the cellular level, which has created a lifestyle at the spectacular level. And just a few years into this, we realized that finances was not going to be a stress point for us and that we could design a life exactly the way we wanted it to be. So I'm going to share just a few of the things that happened before I get into the unexpected. Our first goal was to move out of Reno, Nevada, back to my hometown of Ashland, Oregon. Not only did we do that, but we bought my mom's old house and raised our kids there. I've always been an avid water skier. Nikki likes being on the water, so we knew a lake house was in our future. That took us a couple more years. And now we have that, and it's just an incredible opportunity to be with family and friends. And then we wanted to having traveled the world, we met in Peru, we wanted to see America. So we got an RV and we spent 2 years driving around, visiting a lot of you, and seeing the United States. And during that time, Nikki said, do we have to winter in Oregon? We were down here at the beach by Santa Barbara. I said, we can go wherever we want. So for the last 8 years, we've been down here at the beach. But what was unexpected for me, I just turned 70 years old, and not long ago, I realized I'm doing exactly what I'm supposed to be doing on the planet, which is a good thing to know before you get too much older, right? I believe expressing your purpose on a daily basis is an important thing. And if you're not expressing your purpose, you're sabotaging your purpose. So to know that I'm doing what I'm here to do. And then the other thing is that we have this potential to impact thousands and thousands of lives. You don't have to be a rock star. You don't have to be a genius. You just have to tell a few people that tell a few people, and that's what we've done. So to make that kind of impact is very unexpected and very enjoyable. So love it. Thank you. And so now I get the pleasure of introducing Alita Spire, and from the team Inspire. And the one thing I want to say about Alita is one of our newer national marketing directors is she'd been sharing Juice Plus by delivering it to people for like 10 years. When I saw her on my sheet that tells me the whole team, we had an event in in Phoenix. And so I looked at all the area codes in Phoenix and just started calling people. And I called Alita and said, how's your business going? She said, what business? And the rest is history. Alita Spire.
Oh, thank you so much, Chris. I really appreciate that phone call those years ago, because I had been taking it for 10 years before I even decided to really join the business. So I went to that conference and I was blown away. And a couple things I heard Dr. Delia Garcia, who was an oncologist, say this is the first time in her practice she's seen 17-year-olds come in for cancer options rather than planning their prom. So that really got me, because I had a daughter who was in high school, and I just resonated with that, like the worry of that. And then I heard Dr. David Katz say this is the first generation of parents that will outlive their children. So I came home and I just did it as a hobby for several years. I just took it myself, and I didn't even give it to my kids. It brings tears to my eyes now when I think of that, because I know that a couple of my kids really could have used it then. But I didn't know what I didn't know. I had a house full of healthcare professionals, and my sister brought it home and said, you guys all take it, sign up. And I thought I had to be a rep in order to take it. So I did that for that long. So I was an event planner, and I did several things, like Chris said, getting like $19, $20 an hour for almost everything. So as life would have it, and I never intended this to happen, my kid's dad left me with 6 kids and 4 of them at home still. So my child support check was $800 a month to raise those 4 kids. So I guess you might call it timing is right. And so I went to that conference and I got inspired, and Chris was really sweet on the phone. And so it was exciting to talk to somebody and have some adult conversation. And I didn't know what I didn't know, because a couple of months later, actually, my check was twice as big as my child support check was. So I didn't know what God knew what I needed for myself. So because I was an event planner, I really didn't want to have events. And we didn't have any events here in Phoenix then. And so I did my first 40 customers, I did 1-to-1. And I was really happy with getting customers. And I was scared to have a team. And so my unexpected blessing was that you don't do this alone. You have so many people that you can count on and call in the spur of the moment. All of the NMDs on this call, 13 of us, I think, 14, that we all can count on each other at any time. They're like sisters and brothers to me. Yeah, like sisters and brothers. And so when I share with other people, and I feel like it's a tremendous gift that it's been given to me, because I wasn't one to go out to lunch a lot, shop a lot and everything. So it's given me a passion and a purpose at the same time. Now that my kids are all moved away, and I'm able to hop on a plane on the spur of the moment and go see my daughter, who has 8 kids in Charlotte, my son who's in Nashville, my other kids are in California. So it's been an unexpected blessing indeed. I'm just so grateful that I actually jumped in with both feet. I remember once thinking, should I do it, or should I just go back to just taking it and just making a difference in people's lives, which would have been fine, I guess. But I can't even imagine what it would be like without this income right now. And so I'm just truly blessed. So with that being said, I'm going to introduce you to two special people that I met actually. And what was intriguing about this couple, Jerry and Debbie, is that, and I know they call him Rudy, is that he was a fisherman. And when he was fishing she's probably going to share that story, but I really love the fact that I got fresh salmon delivered to my house. And that was one of the perks of knowing them. But I found that she was just a doll and just loving. And I was really grateful to have met them early in my career. So I'm going to pass this on to Debbie and Jerry.
Great. Well, good night, everybody, or good evening. I'm excited to see the whole call got full, and so quickly too, even before 6 o'clock. But you know, my background before this was I had become a newspaper reporter for a big daily newspaper in Alaska. And when I had my first son, I quit that job to be a stay-at-home mom. And so Jerry continued to fish, and somehow we had a second son when we never saw each other. But anyway, so when the Exxon Valdez accident happened, our life turned upside down, and he was gone all the time, but he was not being able to send me money. So we were kind of in a desperate spot. And so we discovered this. I called up Chris and Nikki one day, and they told me about the business. And I was like, hey, I'll look at anything, you know, like I'm desperate. So we got started, and it took about 1.5 years before I got to a conference. And they introduced Juice Plus at that conference. So we bought a box, went home, and started taking it. Then I got more excited about the company and the product. And I was terrified, though, to call people up, because when you're a newspaper reporter, you can call the governor of the state and they'll call you right back so they can get their name in the paper. But when you're on your own, all by yourself, and you have to be brave, it's a different story. So one of my unexpected blessings was the personal growth that I got to go through. And that changed me. I am definitely not the person I was when I started this. And so it took 22 months to make it to NMD, and I got the benefit package for my children and me. And then we got Jerry back home, and 2 years later, he made it to NMD. So unexpected blessing number 2 was all the friends you make. I mean, who would have thought I would be really best friends with Rick and Jan Du Bois? You know, I mean, this is just amazing, the people you can meet through this business. So I'm going to turn it over to Jerry.
All right. Hi, everyone. That really brought back a memory, you know, for us to do what happened for us. We had to meet some really great people, and we sure did. They always told us in the business to find people better than you are. So we did it, and they're all our downline, you know, and they're absolutely fantastic business builders and Juice Plus advocates. Watching Juice Plus live this last weekend and seeing Jay come on really spurred a memory in me. And the memory was, when did I first meet Jay? You know, I was coming off of a long career of commercial fishing, very competitive, 2 boats that sank when I met Debbie, you know, so we were looking for something a little bit more secure, you know, and we went down to meet Jay. We didn't know we were going to meet him, but we saw him in a meeting with a bunch of NMDs, and he was answering questions that were being fired at him right and left. And he impressed me so much that I thought, there's a guy that we can get behind, somebody we could work with and follow. And we owe it to Chris and Nikki to introduce us to those two. It was an absolutely fantastic moment in our lives, you know, and some really crazy things happened for us to get into the business, but we did, you know, and here we are. And the one thing I wanted to mention, that we got a letter, I think it was an email that came from Jay last week, and it was kind of, you know, he's a very musical fella, Bill Withers, and, you know, and Beatles stuff, and Paul Simon. But he said something that really resonated. He said, we have 15,000 people in this business that have been with us for 15 years. Isn't that amazing?
Longer.
Isn't that amazing? For at least 15 years. that is a business like no other out there. And we're just so fortunate that we got involved when we did. So Debbie's going to turn it over to Steph.
Okay, so I want to introduce you to Stephanie Cleveland, who we found through her sister. And when at the time she and her husband became really close to us, and I'm just so happy to have Stephanie on my team. She's such a great support for me too, and we support each other very well.
She's so smart.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, thank you. That was very sweet of you. Well, when I started Juice Plus, which actually will be 24 years ago in about a week, I just saw it as an idea whose time has come. And I took it right away. I got involved in the business right away and went really fast. And then I had a lot of life happen to me, which so often it does to so many. And it took me about 6 years to become a national marketing director. And there have just been so many blessings that have come from this. I have just felt so guided and so gifted over this entire journey. And of course, in the beginning, I had no idea what this journey, what direction this journey would take for me. And I don't think any of us do in the beginning. And it's, in looking back that we see all of the things that have been blessings to us. And I just wanted to share a couple of them. My biggest blessings in this lie in the arena of family. So I just have a couple of things that I want to share. And the first one is that I didn't know that this business would provide me an opportunity to leave a legacy of good health to my 7 grandchildren. And a lot of them have been born Juice Plus babies. And I have a great grandson who has also been born a Juice Plus baby. And he actually represents the 4th generation in my Juice Plus family. So this is an incredible, taking Juice Plus and being able to offer it to your family is a huge legacy. And I just don't know where it will go as those people continue to create more children through time. So I just feel like that's a really, really important thing that we're all doing by taking Juice Plus and passing it on. And I really didn't know the impact that Juice Plus would have on my 6th granddaughter, my 6th grandchild. She was born at 23 weeks and 3 days. She spent 150 days in the NICU, and her mother took the capsules and the shake every day. She pumped her breast milk, and that nutrition, that incredible nutrition, went down a tube into my granddaughter's stomach. And she literally developed outside the womb. And she is going to be turning 21. She graduated high school. She went to community college, and she has gotten her first job. And when I think back and remember that her body was the length of a pencil, her life is nothing less than an absolute miracle. And Juice Plus provided the incredible nutrition that she needed to be who she is today. And so those are the most important things in my life, the most important blessings that this business has given me, and so many more. But I'm going to go ahead and pass it on to a favorite person of mine, Lenora Bayless, who has done so much for this company over the years, and she's from Henderson, Nevada. So Lenora, take it away.
Thank you. Stephanie, I didn't know that story about your granddaughter. That was amazing. So I thought about the thing that motivated me to take the step, because I never sold a thing and was not inclined to move in that direction. But the thing that motivated me was I had a mom who had been the backbone, the wind beneath my wings, I called her. She had a stroke, and she was caregiver to my sister who had a stroke. So I came home thinking that would keep them out of a nursing home. But what I didn't expect was what it would mean to my kids that I was there. They were 8, 11, and 13 when I retired or left my corporate job. And being a present mom made such a difference in their lives. Having me at every awards assembly, every sport event that they were involved in. So another unexpected blessing, I would never have imagined. I was hoping to pay for my family's product. That I would become a presidential marketing director is nothing short of a miracle, or that I would more than double my corporate pay. It's like, okay, no, I did not have the vision for that. I wanted everybody to have the opportunity to know about Juice Plus because it made such a difference for my family. And I always assumed when I worked in the corporate job that my way to the top was building someone else's empire, working as hard as I could and getting as far as I could get, and never knew that something like this existed because it's not what they teach you in college, right? So that was a huge blessing. But I think the most significant unexpected blessing for me, you always like to look back on your life and think, have I made a difference for somebody? And we have such a measurable way that we can do that. I think about the thousands of people that have been to healthy living events, that have been to salad in a jar parties, that have been to every kind of wine and wellness, every kind of event you can imagine, because one day I signed a distributor application and then I decided to get past myself, practice and practice until I had some skill with it, to share Juice Plus with people. And when I did, it has made a difference in thousands of people's lives. Not to mention that the next 5 girls you're gonna meet have been women that have made all my dreams come true. It's mind-boggling, really, when you think about what can happen if you find the thing that you're passionate about and put some attention to your intention and make a difference in a way that, like Chris said, you were here to come for. So I thank God every day that my friend persisted with me. I can't imagine what my health or my life would look like without this business. So I want to introduce you to my first very serious distributor, and that was Sandy Abrams-Tabola, and she worked and made it to National Marketing Director. So Sandy, you'll be the first one and you'll introduce Tyra, right? Or I mean, Michelle will.
Yes. Hey there. Hey everyone. When I started thinking about the unexpected blessings, I got really emotional because I had no idea what I had my hands on. All I knew was that I had fallen in love with these little magic plant powders, and I couldn't keep my mouth shut because of all the benefits that I had. So that was a huge blessing. But as I became a partner because maybe I could pay for my family's Juice Plus, right? And when my team started growing and my paycheck started growing, the first blessing was being able to bring my grandma into my home, and she had Alzheimer's, and quit my job of $800 a month and being a youth pastor. And that was amazing. That sense, of being able to do that was such a blessing. Then when I lost my marriage to an opioid addiction and was left to raise 2 teenage boys on $800, or it wasn't that. I am so grateful that it was not that, that I had grown to had a team and was able to finish making it to National Marketing Director and get the benefit package that gave me, even more sense of security and sent my son to college. So I think the other really unexpected blessing was the community and being able to help others achieve their dreams. And now that is that's my biggest blessing now, is to help others have that plan B or achieve whatever goals that they have. Last night when I was listening, or this weekend when I was listening to Jay Martin, I just got really emotional then, because I fell in love with him before I fell in love with the company, hearing him. And just what a blessing it is to have a company that has such strong leadership, and you're in the right place at the right time. And so I'm happy to turn this over to my buddy, Michelle Grensing. We were in Bible study together, and who knew this incredible business would make us best friends and keep us so close. Michelle?
Hey, you guys, thank you. I feel so emotional, and honestly, thinking about this all day long has yeah, it's been really emotional. There's so many blessings that it's absolutely impossible to capture that, in this short time. But just a couple of things. I'm going to start very practically. One of the biggest unexpected blessings is the preparedness of this company and Jay Martin every step of the way. This weekend, whenever we were watching the Juice Plus Live, and Dr. Manfred Lamfret was talking about all of the immune things. I learned in that something I didn't even know. I learned that the company was preparing for any sort of immune crisis, which we're in today, by publishing their first immune study in 1999. That was well before I even knew Juice Plus existed. So preparedness, and that leads me into so many unexpected blessings, but to narrow it down, I didn't know whenever I said yes to this, what would happen. And I don't think we've heard that already. Most of us do not. I know one thing. I didn't expect much because I didn't believe much. I didn't believe in myself. And so, that was one of the biggest reasons I held back. But slowly but surely, the education and sharing, whenever the unexpected happened to our family the first time when my husband lost his job, and he had a career that we loved. He's a men's basketball coach, and the community and the wins and the traveling and the highs that we get from the victories and being in that profession, whenever we thought that was going to be taken away, I could, and you guys have had these things in your life, whenever things cripple you to where you're sobbing, but when you have to look at your kids and your husband and see the sobbing in their face, but be the person to go, hey, it's going to be okay. So that happened in the middle of my journey. And then he got another job, continued on with that. But it happened again just a couple of years ago. At that time, I could look at my family with even more confidence because of all of this. And because I had made it to National Marketing Director and was able to help contribute to our family's finances all of these years now, and even more so today, I could truly say, hey, it's going to be okay. And you can retire if you want. And he did, and he's been able to do other things. So, our livelihood was always built on winning and championships. And in this, it's still that way. We're stepping out. As a young kid in Sunday school, I always sang, Jesus loves the little children. All the children, red and yellow, black and white. Meaning everybody. It's available for everybody. Well, Juice Plus loves all the little children, young, red and yellow, black and white. It's for anyone. No one doesn't want health. And being prepared when somebody else doesn't know that they need somebody to be prepared for them and to offer them something is a blessing. And it's certainly been an unexpected blessing of mine. And I'm super grateful. So I'm going to lead you into Tyra Wiebe, who is one of the National Marketing Directors I heard early on, and she really empowered me and touched me with her story. So take it away.
Thank you, Michelle. Oh my goodness, my reason for joining this business has changed so much also. Since starting the business almost 20 years ago, I initially fell in love with Juice Plus and found myself wanting to tell others. And I was also looking for a way to earn $500 to help pay for my third child going into a Christian private school. But I also had no idea it would turn into a career, not just for myself, but also for my husband. And I never thought we would make it to the National Marketing Director level and would have health benefits for our entire family, along with almost $20,000 paid toward our children's college education. And I never knew we would be able to help so many lives that would profoundly change their health and for some of their financial situations. I never knew that I would work alongside with others who would become my closest friends. I never knew that this company would provide so much time flexibility to be so present for our children and to do vacations, not just once or twice a year, but numerous ones, because we did not have to ask the boss for time off. I never knew that because Lenora Bayless shared with Rick and I about these Juice Plus products that would be so instrumental in him living not just 3 to 6 months, but almost 19 wonderful years with stage 4 brain cancer diagnosis. I brought a tissue. I never knew that this would provide for me and my family the way it has, even when I was unable to give it my attention during a long grieving process. This company never fired me. And what? My check still showed up in my bank account. I never knew that Rick and I, along with a team of amazing people who would continue to bless me beyond what I ever thought would be possible with a $50 application fee. Just think what amazing blessings are out there for you too. Just think, what if? Okay. Now I get to introduce to you our next NMD, Carolyn Swanger, who I shared with her as soon as I heard about Juice Plus. And guess what? We partnered together and both made NMD. We also became best of friends on this journey. And just another perk of this business.
Tyra, we can't hear her.
My name is Carolyn Swanger.
Hey, Carolyn. Oh, there you are. Carolyn, you're muted.
There you are.
So that's my job to unmute. Well, you know, after following Tyra's story, and I just love that she's always so vulnerable and sharing her heart. I forgot where I was. So Tyra, thank you for that. Well, my name is Carolyn Swanger, and I live near Phoenix, Arizona. But I want to share with you, prior to me learning about Juice Plus, I had gone to college to be a teacher. Now, you have to understand, I actually quit college 3 times. Do you know why? Because I lacked the confidence to speak in front of people. Each time my student teaching semester started, I just could not stand in front of those students. And I have to tell you, the kindergartners just ate me alive. So I told God I would rather be a missionary to Africa than to speak in front of people. Sorry, I never made it to Africa or a missionary. So you know what I did? I chose, first of all, I did graduate. It took me like 6 years. I think I was about 24. I don't know. But I did choose to hide behind a desk in corporate America rather than to be a teacher. That's how great my fear was. Well, I want to fast forward. Now that when I was like 40 years old, I was married. I had 2 small children, and we were living on one income. And what that did for us is it prevented us from dreaming again. I wanted so bad to stay home with my kids, but also we needed some extra money to be able to do the things we would love to do. But then my best friend, who you just heard from, Tyra Wiebe, she asked me if I wanted to have fun with her sharing Juice Plus together. So we did have fun sharing Juice Plus with everyone we knew. And do you know, within a matter of a few short years, we actually made more money than our husbands. I mean, it was amazing. So, and you know what? So many people are on this line that helped contribute to that. And I just want to thank you all. Our life turned into a life of travel. Our families had vacations together. We were able to put our kids in private Christian school and college. But here we are 20 years later. And I have to tell you, what my honor is that my husband is so proud of who I have become. And he also admires the freedom that this business gives me, so that I can actually take several weeks off to help a friend in need and still get a paycheck. So, and yes, I just want to share, my unexpected blessing is overcoming that biggest fear of talking in front of people. Lenora Bayless told me when I first signed up, we get paid for talking to people. Oh my gosh, I didn't think I would ever make it. But here I did. I'm still getting a paycheck doing that. And you know what? One of those people that I was brave enough to talk to was Alexis Busselman. So I am going to turn it over to you, Alexis. I would love for you all to you're going to love this story that she's going to share with us.
Hi, everyone. Thank you, Carolyn. It's been so wonderful hearing everyone's stories. And I want to start off by telling you that many of these stories that you just heard are from women who were friends with my mom. So I grew up on Juice Plus. I was fortunate enough to be one of those children on the health study. And this product's been part of my life for 18 years. And so my mom was friends with and traveled with Tyra and Carolyn and Lenora and Michelle and Sandy and everyone. She learned about these products and she knew how impactful they could be to her family. I, as a child, did not understand. I would roll my eyes and say, why do I have to take this? But I did. I took it. And as kids growing up, we thought we were the only ones who consumed Juice Plus. So all these years we had been taking it. When I met my husband, I told him, you have to take this. And he did. But I did not understand the impact that this product was making in my life because I didn't think that I needed it. And so I will first off tell you that one of the biggest blessings for me was when I had my first child. As a mom of 3 now, my children's health is absolutely impeccable. They are the healthiest children, unlike the childhood that I grew up with my siblings. And I know that they are like that because of the choice that my mom made. And that was the biggest blessing for me personally, to have the health of my children. And with that, I did not know, as I said, really about this product, and I definitely didn't know about this business. And I was really surprised when I got a phone call from Carolyn for the first time and introducing this business to me. I didn't know a single person other than my family who consumed this product, so I thought it was just me. But I made the decision after speaking with her that this was something that I could do, and I was going to do it fast. I wanted to make national marketing director. I wanted those benefits. I wanted all these things, these freedoms that all these people have shared. I wanted that. So for me, 2 years ago this month, so for those of you who are new to this, know that I'm still new. Less than 2 years ago, I joined this business and I joined this team and I linked arms with all of these people on this call and I made it all the way to the top. And it has provided our family freedoms that I did not even know existed. My husband and I have the opportunity to do things and have the time freedom that we want, that we would have never been able to have with my corporate job. While it provided for us financially, we were constantly tied by the time that was taking. And so I want to encourage you guys, if you did not watch Tony Branner's story from the conference where she talks about the legacy that her family left, the 4 generations, I encourage you to check that out because every child that we're putting on this health study that's getting Juice Plus for free, that is my story. And that is the story that's going to be so many of your customers. And so we are touching that next generation and we are shaping their futures. And I couldn't imagine a bigger blessing than being able to touch so many lives. So I'm going to go ahead and turn it back over to Nikki. And she is going to share with you a little bit about her story.
Nikki, you're on mute.
We're professionals.
Yes. Just to see somebody that has just reached National Marketing Director in less than a year, and Chris and I have been on this journey for 30 years, and all the people in between and all the different stories just amazes me. Before I tell my story, I'm supposed to introduce Lisa and Phil Blaisdell, and they couldn't be on the call tonight because there was a calendar mix up for them. But I did call Lisa, and I want to share with you her story because I think she's been in the business 15 plus years. I don't know the exact date, but you know, we started talking and I said, oh my gosh, you've got to be able to share something. And I kind of put her on the spot. She knew she wasn't going to be on the call. And instantly the first thing she said was, as a working woman and mom, I never could have imagined that something like this would be so incredibly fulfilling. I feel absolutely filled. It fills my heart to be able to do this every day. And she said, that's it. And I said, no, it's not. I said, do you remember when one of your relatives, I don't know if it's a niece or a cousin, had a preemie baby, and he was just like what you described, Stephanie, really little. They didn't think he'd make it. She flew to the East Coast 4 times in the first 6 weeks to help out because she could. Because this is a mission of flexible finances where you can say yes instead of saying, no, I can't afford it. And she was able to help both of her girls move into college several times and go back and forth and say yes, because she didn't have to ask her corporate boss, can I leave, and help them unpack and help them settle. So there's all these amazing journeys. For me, I began this really with the expectation, of course, as Chris said, we started this absolutely in complete desperation, bankrupt, lean against our house. Honestly, my dream at that point in time, because life had fallen apart so massively, my dream was to be a bank teller. I was going to be a bank teller because that wasn't going to be too hard. And I'm good with people, and they'd be on the counter and I would do my stuff and we would have insurance. And this came along and Chris saw it. I didn't, but I said yes. And so I was able to do all the things I initially dreamed about before we lost our business. Be a stay-at-home mom, travel with my girls, travel all over the world with our girls, to be able to do that. I also never expected that my mission, my own purpose, I know, is to be the spark of transformation, but I never knew what that meant until we started this journey. And my purpose completely aligned to my core values, that every time I offer this to somebody for their family, I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know who's going to call me and say, my kid for the first time is allowed in the play area with all the other kids because he's not poking and shoving because Juice Plus has him focused. Tearing moms calling me, transformation. I never knew that we would be helping people with their finances. It never occurred to me. I never knew that when we took that motorhome trip, that we parked our motorhome close to where my parents lived. And I said, can we stay in this spot for the next 5 or 6 months? Because I want to be able to see my parents, they're old. And we saw them 2 and 3 times a week. And we did that for the next 2 winters in a row. And at the end of that winter, my father passed away. If I had had a job that I loved and had said to my boss, I'm going to take off 5 months to be with my parents, and you're going to still pay me, and you're going to give me my insurance, and I'm going to have all my expense allowance, I never had to ask anybody. I was just able to do that. And maybe the final piece is that piece I never, ever expected, the kind of friendship that we have. Best friends that if I had met them, I would probably not have become best friends with us because we're so different. But having to work together every day with somebody and being vulnerable and learning about them and coaching them and having them coach you completely shifted who I became friends with and the kind of friendships I have. So who knew? Who knew that if you said yes, what just might happen? And so I leave you all with what if? What if? So I'm going to turn this back to you, Melissa, who was an elementary school teacher, special ed, worked in high-tech corporate America in sales. Would you share your story? And I'm looking for you. I saw you a second ago. Where'd you go? I'm
over here. I don't know if it'll pop up with the yellow.
Oh, it must be at the top because you're unmuted. I mean, there we go. I got you.
Awesome.
I'm going to put you on. And Melissa, by the way, I just want to tell everybody, this was Melissa's idea. And she said she was so nervous to ask us if she could do this. And then I almost bungled it. And she came back and called me out. And she said, that's not what we talked about. And I am so proud of her for her courageousness and her vulnerability and her creativity.
Oh, Nikki, thank you so much. Well, first of all, I shouldn't have planned it this way because I've been crying the whole time. And now I've got to talk to everybody. So I'm all swollen and flushed. But I actually typed this out because I have a tendency to go long, and I wanted to really get the point across to all of you. I mean, what a blessing. I hope that you guys are really getting the grip of this, is that we don't know what's in store for us until we take a chance, right? So everyone says yes to this experience for different reasons. I had one clear reason, and that was just to get my dad taking the product. He had been diagnosed with cancer, and I wanted to give him as many good days as I could. I didn't need a business or additional paycheck at the time. I was working a 6-figure sales role in high tech, and I was in my late 20s. So you can imagine lots of dispensable cash, right? I was one of those people who thought that I ate healthy enough, right? I considered salmon salads at lunch, good enough, despite the fact that I had all these other health issues going on and I just didn't see the connection. So what I was surprised to find when I added it to my diet was that my digestion improved immediately. I think a lot of you have experienced that. My skin started glowing and people would stop me and ask, what am I doing? Am I getting facials and stuff? And the big thing for me was that my migraines disappeared. And that really caught my attention and got me to dig a little deeper and ask more questions, because something triggered that. That was something I suffered for over 10 years and was a slave to the drugs that I had to take. So all of that health benefit was a blessing and a surprise to me personally. But what I didn't see coming was that we were able to give my father an extra decade of his life. Now, when you get that kind of diagnosis and it's as severe as it was, they tell you things like 2 to 3 years, but he lived 13. So the products, the education, the access to the out-of-the-box thinkers like Dr. Tamara Sachs that you heard from in our recent conference gave my father an edge with his battle with cancer. He never would have known his grandchildren, you guys. Think about that, right? If it weren't for this. So when I sat down to write out my list of blessings, there were too many to fit onto the page. But these 3 stood out. And so I'll leave you with this. 1, I was able to retire myself at 29 years old from my corporate job, and I've been home with my 2 Juice Plus babies ever since they were born. 2, the Tower Garden has turned me into a gardener. I was one of those people with the black thumb, never expected to grow anything as magical as we've been able to produce with our towers. But that really was a special transformation in itself. And 3, this business has brought me some of the richest relationships of my life. And I think you've heard that from everybody, including reuniting me with a childhood friend who's now my best friend. And she's my buddy in the business. I take the advice of the people before us very seriously. And I hope that you guys will look up to ask questions and look for inspiration, because you do not have to do this alone. We are here to pour into you. I know that every single person that was on tonight would be willing to help in any way that they can. And one thing I noticed was that in corporate America, I really struggled to find people that I could look up to. It was hard for me to find a mentor or someone to aspire to. I felt like people had to sell out to get ahead, and I just wasn't willing to do that kind of thing. But here at Juice Plus, it's the opposite. I'm surrounded by people that are really poured into themselves, and this business allows us to come here and be us, uniquely us, right? This call is overtime and out of character and, totally out of format, but we're hoping that, there's 100 people still on the line, so I believe that there's some value in this for you. So I ask you this, what if you took one step, right? What if you allowed yourself to be surprised? What if you embraced some personal growth and some challenges? What if you started to dream again? That's hard for some people, but what if you did? The blessings of this business are bountiful, and I promise that you'll be surprised if you just take that one step. All right, so we are at time. We had a little exercise to do, but I think we should table that, and we will bring that to you on in another format. And I just want to thank everybody for pouring in tonight. Thank you for staying on the line. Thank you for all the comments. Thank you, Nikki, for giving me an opportunity to try something new. And I just want to send my love to everybody that's on the line tonight and everybody that's listening, that we are a united team doing magical things. So let's go have a good week.
I'm going to unmute everybody right now.
Great job, Melissa.
Incredible job, Melissa. And I'm hoping that you all, what would be really fabulous is just to put out one word, just one word, your one word of feeling of what this call might mean for you.
Gratitude.
Inspiration. Inspirational. Enlightening.
Encouraging.
Good night, everybody.
Bye. Thank you.